Well, hi guys, and hello. This talk about working moms and if it's working for me. Now that it's on Netflix, this CBC show by Catherine Reitman is being binge watched on both sides of the border. But I'm surprised that so many of my smart, strong working mom friends love it. People seem to really love Working Mom, the 22-minute sitcom helmed by comedian Catherine Reitman premiered on CBC in 2017 and has been recommended to me, a working mom of three kids, almost weekly ever since. Now that the series is on Netflix in both Canada and the US, it's become a binge-worthy show that everyone's talking about on both sides of the border. I keep hearing that it breaks barriers for women in comedy and really speaks to the modern mom. But I've gotta be honest, now that I've watched it, I'm surprised that so many of my smart and strong mom friends love it and that they actually buy into the show's low key, inspirational messaging and gross out humor. Reitman plays Kate, a mom and ad executive who's unable to find the elusive work life balance so many of us struggle to achieve. But in Kate's case, she's married, wealthy white woman. Her privilege oozes from the screen, even throughout the salacious and, let's be honest, affair she learns about between her husband Nathan and her mummy friend Anne's nanny. In fact, nearly every character on the show either employs a nanny or is a stay-at-home mom, something many Canadian parents simply can't afford to do. If this show is about real-world parenting problems, where are the long, snaking lines of parents standing outside daycares overnight, trying to get their kids a coveted, overpriced spot? Where are the women forced to put their careers on hold for several years because daycare costs outweigh their salaries? Where are the women stringing together several part-time jobs and working nights or weekends, leaning on family and neighbors to take the kids so they can make enough to pay rent? Where are the women facing actual real-world challenges and not wealthy women problems? In the very first episode of the show, they actually do try to tackle a real problem, women's mental health, but they turn it into a very unfunny joke. Frankie, played by Jono Rinaldi, announces to her mom group that she has a wee bit of postpartum. And from there, the laughs roll in, all at the expense of this character's suicide attempts and her difficulty finding antidepressants that work for her mood disorder. Instead of punching up, the writers are punching down, belittling those suffering from mental illness and using hurtful stereotypes that show a lack of basic respect for women who've been fighting to get society to see postpartum depression, and postpartum psychosis as legitimate issues. Up to 13% of Canadian women have little or no support available during pregnancy, and the postpartum month, according to the Canadian Maternity Experiences Survey published by the Public Health Agency of Canada, around 8% of Canadian women report depressive symptoms, and some doctors think the actual number are higher because women often don't report out of shame or fear mocking Frankie's very real mental health issues is really disappointing. Then there is the episode in season 1 when Jenny, played by Jocelyn Wallem, goes back to work after her maternity leave is over and is caught in the break room by one of her colleagues. I found the whole setup to be ridiculous. Honestly, who masturbates in a breakdown room? Workplace sexual harassment is never funny, regardless of who the perps is, man or woman. While the show brushes off Jenny's in office wonk, they do deal with the Me Too movement in season 2 when Anne's creepy ex, Dr. Brown, comes back into focus. With Kate and Nathan's, spoiler alert, split in season 3, we also see how families with money can easily separate their assets. Although the emotional toll of the separation reads as genuine and relatable, Kate moves into her own apartment at the start of the season like it's NBD, but in real life, many families struggle for years with infidelity, lies, hurt, and abuse because of the financial constraints. Not everyone can actually afford to break up. Managing two households or paying child and parental support is out of reach for some people. When Kate waltzes into her new space almost effortlessly, it does a disservice to the challenges many women face when trying to leave abusive or hurtful relationships. Working Moms also mostly ignores the truly diverse makeup of Canadian communities. 3 of 4 main characters are white. Yes, Frankie is married to a black woman, Giselle, played by Olenik Adeli. But she's not a fully developed character. It feels like a very convenient way to tick the lesbian and woman of color boxes. And Anne's aforementioned nanny, a younger woman of color, doesn't even get to have an actual name on the show. She's just me nanny. Me nanny. That's it. If this representation, I've got to wonder who is being represented here. I'm just not working for me, to be honest. That's it. That was pretty much everything about this show. See you next video and please don't forget to subscribe and share, like. See you next video.